Romanian prosecutors have opened criminal proceedings against ultranationalist politician and 2024 presidential election candidate Călin Georgescu.
Ukraine and the United States have reached a minerals deal that is according to several senior Ukrainian officials.
After recovering from a respiratory crisis, Pope Francis' clinical condition remains critical.
Romanian prosecutors have opened criminal proceedings against ultranationalist politician and 2024 presidential election candidate Călin Georgescu. The 6 counts include anti-constitutional acts and misreporting his finances, authorities said on Wednesday. The charges also revolve around his support for sympathizers of the Iron Guard, a pre-World War II fascist and anti-Semitic movement and political party, which is illegal under Romanian law. Euronews Romania sources say prosecutors question Georgescu as part of an investigation looking at zero expenses he declared for last year's electoral campaign. Local media report prosecutors have begun searching the premises of his close associates. After news broke of the raids, Georgescu claimed the searches were aimed at blocking his new presidential candidacy. Others affected by the nationwide police action are under investigation for several crimes, including illegal weapons caches and instigating fascism.
A notorious French fugitive whose prison escape killed 2 guards last year was extradited to France after he was arrested in Romania.
Vous êtes content de retourner en France?
Maman, je t'aime, c'est tout.
Vous pouvez nous dire?
Maman, je t'aime, c'est tout. J'aime ma mère.
Mohamed Amra, also known as The Fly, was arrested near a shopping center in Bucharest. Investigators who tapped his phone discovered he was preparing to leave for Romania roughly 2 weeks ago. They had then monitored cameras surrounding the residence in the capital which he had rented, and special forces were able to arrest him after he had left the building for the first time. Amra had been sentenced for burglary in Normandy and was suspected of heading a drug trafficking network. French prosecutors said he was also under investigation for an attempted organized homicide and kidnapping that resulted in death. Ukraine and the United States reached an economic deal that would include the exploitation of Ukraine's minerals, that is according to several senior Ukrainian officials. One of the officials said they hoped the deal would improve ties between Kyiv and Washington and that it would ensure long-term support from the US. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky reportedly will travel to the United States to meet with US President Donald Trump. One of the officials said the deal could be signed as early as Friday.
I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal.
It is not the first time that a deal as such got presented to Ukraine. The US had previously presented an offer that would allow them to access Ukraine's minerals in return for continued support. Zelensky had, however, turned down this proposal as it did not offer enough security guarantees for Ukraine. Ukrainian officials told the Financial Times that while this deal did not state explicit security guarantees either, its offer was far more favorable.
The President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, has met with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán for talks in Budapest ahead of an emergency EU summit on the 6th of March. Their meeting was aimed at gauging each other's stance on supporting Ukraine, the prospects for ending the war, and ways to strengthen Europe's defence capabilities. The Hungarian government has consistently pursued a more independent stance within the EU, particularly on matters related to Ukraine and defence policy. It's an approach that has sparked both anger and concern among other EU member states, particularly with the Hungarian Premier's backing of the recent policy shift towards Ukraine advocated by US President Donald Trump. A video conference is also set to be held by the European Council this Wednesday, giving French President Emmanuel Macron the opportunity to discuss his meeting with Trump in Washington, which was primarily focused on the peace process in Ukraine. Costa's visit to Budapest follows his talks in Warsaw with Polish Prime Minister and EU President Donald Tusk, after which he emphasised that military and financial support for Ukraine, as well as its involvement in peacebuilding and reconstruction, remain top priorities for the European Union. There is also a consensus among member states on the need to increase defence spending, and the European Commission will present an EU plan on this matter at the upcoming summit.
The United States opposition to a European-backed UN resolution that condemned Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine has sparked reactions. The Trump administration voted against the Ukrainian resolution on Monday. Cyprus's foreign minister says despite the dramatic shift, attention must remain on ending Russia's invasion.
Αποτέλεσμα είναι ότι χτες η Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση κατάφερε να διατηρήσει ένα σημαντικό στοιχείο από άποψη θέσης αρχής, από άποψη διακήρυξης, από άποψη λεκτικού σε ό,τι αφορά την κατάσταση πραγμάτων στην Ουκρανία. Υπήρξε μια πολύ σοβαρή κινητοποίηση από τα κράτη-μέλη, με σημαντικών αριθμών συναδέλφων να είχαν μεταβεί στη Νέα Νιόρκη επί τούτου και το αποτέλεσμα να αξιολογείται από την Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση ως θετικό.
The UN General Assembly still adopted a resolution which called for Russia to immediately withdraw all of its military forces from Ukrainian territory.
The Ukrainian army is fighting a decisive battle on the Pokrovsk front line in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine. Fears that Russian troops could capture or bypass the nearby city of Pokrovsk and move deeper into the country are higher than ever. Most of the town's population was evacuated. Those remaining are hard to convince. We head to western Donbass. This is Ukraine's major coal mining basin, a crucial industry for the country's energy supply and a potential target for Moscow. The area's oldest mine is operating full swing, with the help of an increasing number of women as more and more men are being mobilized. Oksana fled her hometown of Bakhmut in the Donetsk region. Her father and eldest son were killed in the Russian bombings 2 years after she'd lost her mother and husband to COVID. She found a second breath at the mine and also in this dance school. A choreographer before the war, Oksana now gives dance classes to teenage girls.
As the dust from Sunday's elections settle in Germany, the new government is facing an uphill battle. Germany's top 3 concerns for this election were European peace and security, the economy and social issues. However, CDU leader Friedrich Merz has also placed emphasis on migration. Policy expert Raphael Loss says geopolitical issues will be amongst Merz's top priorities.
Sind in den vergangenen Jahren aber auch von der Kanzlerschaft Olaf Scholz zum Beispiel die Beziehungen zu Frankreich und Polen an neuen Tiefpunkten angelangt. Und da ist das Potenzial, dass diese Wahl entfaltet, sicherlich das mit einem Kanzler Friedrich Merz, sollte er denn eine regierungsfähige Mehrheit hinter sich versammeln können, ein Reset in diesen doch sehr wichtigen Beziehungen stattfinden wird und dass damit auch ein neuer Impuls für Europapolitik aus Berlin kommen kann. Das ist nicht notwendigerweise eine EU-zentrierte Politik. In vielen Fällen wird es sich um Koalitionen der Willigen handeln, die Friedrich Merz versuchen wird zu bilden. Aber nichtsdestotrotz sind, glaube ich, die geopolitischen Herausforderungen, mit denen wir uns mit Blick auf Moskau, Washington, aber auch Beijing perspektivisch auseinandersetzen müssen, so dass wir tatsächlich an allen Fronten sehr viel mehr machen müssen.
Whilst Merz is promising a stronger and more stable government, questions surrounding financing increased defence spending and resolving social issues are likely to dominate Germany for the next few months.
Hier kann Schwarz-Rot sicherlich Stabilität produzieren. Darüber hinaus wird sich aber vieles entspinnen entlang der Fragen, wie lässt sich eine Zweidrittelmehrheit im Bundestag produzieren, um gegebenenfalls Verfassungsänderungen für ein neues Sondervermögen, für eine Reform der Schuldenbremse, für eine Wiedereinführung der Wehrpflicht unter neuem Modell gesucht werden müssen. Und hier braucht eine schwarz-rote Koalition ganz dringend die Zusammenarbeit sowohl der Grünen, hier sehe ich weniger Probleme, aber auch die Zusammenarbeit der Linken, die an einigen außenpolitischen Fragen doch sehr grundsätzlich anderer Meinung ist als die anderen demokratischen Parteien der Mitte.
Liv Stroud in Berlin für Euronews.